Okay, welcome back. We got about a 50-odd point cut on the Nifty. The SGX Nifty is indicative of that, 18,405. You know, one thing which perhaps may come to the rescue for markets, perhaps is Reliance, right? I mean, if there is one stock which can punch far above its weight, or actually even punch its weight, that'll be enough for the market. And I'm referring to the news flow, which is the windfall tax cut. So maybe we get some help. And you throw in a ONGC there as well. And then you got a bit of a combination, right? So we'll see. But if you start with a 55 odd point cut, I mean, I think that'll be great news. What after, I think, is the question. And there, as we've been saying, perhaps makes sense to be a little cautious at this stage and not jump in at the first sign of that dip. Mitessh is with us, and Shrikant is with us as well with their technical setups. Gentlemen, good morning. Great to have both of you here. Mitessh, we pretty much closed at the low point, and we've got deep red from overnight markets. What's your sense in terms of markets today, and what trades would you want viewers to take?
Morning, Prashant. Yesterday, when we were declining and we started trading below 18,600, we were then looking at a retest of 18,450, and then possibly in the worst case scenario, short-term targets around 18,300 could be tested. Yesterday, we closed below 18,450, so I think 18,300 should come into play. And my idea would be to not immediately buy into a 50-point cut, but in case we get closer to 18,300, then attempt along with the 40-50 point kind of a stop loss. I think there should be some strong bounce back from those levels. Having said that, I think what is turned slightly negative is that the daily indicators have started dipping and started turning negative. So while I do expect a bounce back from 18,300, I would not want to carry them as a positional trade, but in a day or two with that bounce back playing in, if that happens, then I think we'll want to take profit. So the overall bias has moved out from long positions or buy on declines to possibly trade and see where the consolidation finds its boundaries, and then figure out which direction you want to finally get into.
Okay, all right, got that. Mitessh, Shrikant, let's come across to you. What's your call on both the two indices, Nifty and Nifty Bank?
Good morning, Nigel. Good morning, everyone. I think, the market has clearly formed lower top formation on Tuesday. And after that, we saw the market was finding resistance at every level. While looking at the entire pattern, I think very clearly Nifty is entering into corrective phase, and it is going to last for next few days or few weeks. So the strategy should be to look for reducing or creating short position on every rise. As yesterday we saw a huge amount of sell-off in our markets as well as in US markets. I think 18,300 is going to act as very good support on intraday basis. But broadly, we are expecting markets are heading towards the levels of 18,100 or maybe 18,000. So if there is any bounce back, then close to 18,450, 500, we should be seller in the market. And for the bank Nifty, I think 42,800, 42,750 is going to act as support. So till then, we need to be stay back from taking any long position.
Okay, so the bias is on the way down. Let's talk about individual names and what trades one can pick up for today. Mitessh, what do you recommend?
Good morning, Rima. I have a mix of buys and sells. So on the sell side is Bank of Baroda. After a long time, a PSU bank on the selling side, because I think now the sector looks like giving kind of a pullback and some kind of correction to their moving averages. So BOB in the short term could decline to about 176, sell here with a stop at 187. Bata is a sell with a stop at 1661 for targets of 1610. And on the buy side is Piramal Enterprises, conditional buy. I would want to see it get past 920. That's a good breakout level. So buy above that with a stop at 904 for a first target of 960. And MGL on a mild decline is a buy with a stop below 880 for targets of 915.
Shrikant, your recommendations?
Yeah, I think all these IT and commodity stocks should remain under pressure. And in that, TCS looks weak. Currently, it is around 3,300 levels. From here, the stock can slide to the levels of 3,150 or maybe 3,100. So it's a short sale at current levels with a stop loss at 3,350 on the higher side. And if we see the quick drop in the market, then close to 135, 134 level, we should look for adding some bank stocks because the momentum is still there. We can expect some rebound if there is a rebound in the market. So Federal Bank looks good around 135, 134 levels. With a stop loss at 130, again, we can expect 142, 145 on the high side.
Okay, all right. Thanks a lot, Shrikant, as well as Mitessh, for joining in fact, giving us all of those details.